Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, you see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And still I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's a church a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that says,
Well, hello and welcome to the Tinfoil Hat Club. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Ben.
And thank you for joining us yet again. So, normally we're a couple weeks out on our rotation, but we're going to throw this one into the mix. You're going to actually see this a week after we record it. A week and a day. Normally you'd be several weeks out now because that's God has blessed us with that. But we figured on the heels of all of the things that have happened over the last week and a half, we've got former presidents and presidential candidates getting assassination attempts and Biden dropping out of the race. We just found that out earlier today, and his VP Kamala is going to step in for him and
that's
do all these things. But there's a lot of other foily things that we figured we would talk about today too that are going on. So
was it like this or like this, or was it like this and like this with her hand motions?
Yeah, I don't know.
If we reach for the stars, we can attain the earth.
You should join her press corps, her campaign. You can come up with new slogans for someone. So the first thing we're going to cover
I'm
today.
sorry I went there.
No, it's good. So the first thing we're going to cover today is someone on her campaign for Kamala, right, is going to have to tell this woman, you can't say your stupid phrase anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was a Trump ad that came out about her. First of all, a couple weeks ago, we called it, right? We said that they're going to replace him, no doubt about it. Okay, and exactly, they did exactly that. I'm surprised that it went the path that it did. I figured that they would have done it even faster than what they've done now. But
I think they would have hung on to him if the assassination attempt.
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit upstairs. It's like, okay, so if Trump gets actually killed, do they do this?
Yeah,
and I don't think so.
Yeah,
which says something.
So does that mean that they knew about it? Was it planned? Was it, was the DNC behind it?
And that is the foily stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to share some video. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't seen it already, about the assassination. It's all very, very weird. It's very strange, and I know there's a lot of different theories out there. And you might be in the theory that he did it to himself. Is that really kind of like where your camp is? Are you in that camp? Are you planting your flag there?
I like to joke because he's just so egotistical.
That's for sure.
And as my son Isaac pointed out last week, what Stalin or Lenin said, I can't remember, like 3,000 people die, nobody cares. But 1 or 2 people die, it's a tragedy.
That's funny.
And how many people died? I mean, 1 last week, 2?
Yeah, well, no, we had, 2 if you count the
shooter.
The shooter, yeah.
The supposed shooter.
The 20-year-old.
The supposed shooter.
Yeah.
Like, was it really a lone gunman, or was he working for somebody?
Well, that brings us to yet another foily point, doesn't it? Because for those of you that are not aware, the BlackRock actually came out and said, hey, this kid was in a commercial for us like a couple of years ago, because he's only 20 years old, so somebody's still in school.
Yeah.
And there he is, like, very in front of the commercial. And it was just funny that they came out and they said that.
Yeah.
Like they were on that. Like they were ready to go. They were like, hey, this kid was on one of our commercials. Like, why would they jump to that? Like, just get out in front of it from the PR perspective.
Or you too can do this. If you
Yeah,
join
exactly. Or is that like a secret nod to let,
Yeah.
the powers that be in the cabal know, hey, this is working.
Yeah,
We got a little 20-year-old cuckoo indoctrinated.
I mean, it's no different than the MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Like with all the people that,
Yeah.
look what they did.
See, now I'm the more that I've seen now, and the more that I've watched, and the more footage that comes out, and it's just
I just want to throw as many foily things. As
oh
I
yeah,
can.
no, that's fine. I got no qualms against it if somebody thinks that he did it. I don't think so. The evidence to me points that this was a true assassination attempt. The real question for me is, okay, was this a Lee Harvey Oswald?
Was there more gunmen?
Right. I don't think there was more gunmen, but it's for me. It's like, okay, who was behind this? Was this kid really just lone wolfing it, and he just was so nutso and indoctrinated that he's just going to try to do this, or was this set up? Was this kid trained? Was there more to it?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, the more you look at the very least, the Secret Service is getting set up for the fall on this one because, and either deservedly so, or they're just the fall guys and gals and lots of cows.
Oh, and you know what's? I brought this up the other day. You know what is very interesting? The show that's coming out tonight, which would be last week, is about CRT and DEI, indoctrination of all this stuff. God works in mysterious ways with this show.
He does indeed. Thank you, Lord, for all you do for us.
That's right.
Yeah, we're just here to do your work, and it's fun watching you drive the car.
Yeah, it's great, and
it just lets me steer every once in a while. But really, it's his ship,
and he puts the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, we've had this several times on this show where the timing of it is just insane.
Yeah,
but when we were watching it, because you guys actually were here.
Yeah. We walked in and you're like, did you hear Trump was shot? Really?
Yeah.
No.
So it was a rare news day because none of us really watch, sit and watch the news. But I mean, we had a presidential candidate. We haven't had that since the 60s.
Can I say I really didn't care? Is that bad of me saying that?
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm not a Trumper. I'm a Jesus Christer.
Yeah,
that should be our ruler. That should be who we would want to follow, not a man.
Yeah, so that takes us to another part of the conversation that's deeply concerning to me because I watched a bunch of our brothers and sisters in Christ automatically go, well, he was protected by God.
Yeah,
this was divine intervention. He was protected.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, maybe not. Okay, I guess my thing with it is, I can get behind that, but don't stop there.
Yeah.
Don't let that be where you stop with your thinking.
Yeah.
Because if you think this man is a Christ follower and a good guy, come on, man, you got to wake up.
No, he's not.
He's not a good man. Okay.
No, none of them are.
And the first thing popped in my head, my servant Nebuchadnezzar.
I know.
Maria, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. But she's never even going to hear that. So she doesn't typically watch her listen. So like for those of you who don't know what I just referenced, I guess we'll pause there.
I was saying something when you said that, my mind went blank.
I'm sorry. I derailed your train.
Yeah, just call me Joe.
You had a moment. It's funny on this week that it just came out where you had your Joe moment where you were stuttering and stammering around.
Yeah.
So, but no, what I just referenced with my servant Nebuchadnezzar, if you go back, Nebuchadnezzar, it was the Babylonians that God used to punish the Israelites when they were disobedient, right? And take them into captivity. And Nebuchadnezzar was not a godly man at the time.
No.
He was not a good guy. Bad dude. And eventually, the way it reads is you'd say that he became a follower of God and devoted more to God. But at the time, no. And God said, I'm going to use my servant Nebuchadnezzar to do all these things to you.
Yeah.
And so it's
bad people to do good things.
Yeah, to try to get ultimately to try to get his people back on track, right?
Yeah.
So is that what we got here? Do we have this person that is going to maybe change and that they're actually going to be a Christ follower legit? Well, there's somebody that thinks so. We're going to play some of that video here in a second. But
no, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you there.
Just like you have said in the past, a leopard does not change its spots.
Yeah, I would be highly. Would I hope for that? Always,
Yes.
always.
Yes.
Would I find that to be highly probable right now? No. Am I God? No. God can do whatever God wants to do, and man, ultimately, it's your decision to change your heart. But for someone that typically falls into the camp of narcissism or sociopathic or psychopathic, I call those the gold, silver, and bronze of the Psycho Olympics.
Yeah.
So the narcissist would be the bronze medal. Typically, you're not going to change because you don't think you need to.
Yeah, and the reason why I say did he do it was because he's just that way to get attention, to get the sympathy, to, well, they tried to do all this and then all of a sudden, man, I'm behind in the polls. Well, you could always, get shot.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, to me, it doesn't fit.
It's like a movie.
Yeah. He's a flavor of narcissist that I don't see them going there. He was already getting all that he needed to get anyway from the crowd, the way that he works and everything. And I literally do think that there was a legit assassination attempt. I don't think he or his camp orchestrated it myself.
But
I get what you say you wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah. But I'm on the camp of, I joke. Honestly, I joke about that, but I don't think it was a lone gunman. I think it was a group of people, probably maybe the CIA.
No, they wouldn't do such a thing, would they?
Maybe it was the Secret Service or
I'm sorry, let me rephrase what I just said. They wouldn't do that again, would they? Because they already did it once back in the 60s.
I would say, where was George Bush?
I wouldn't want to be where George Bush is now.
I know. That's right.
It's probably not so nice.
You can't preach it. You can't preach a dead man into heaven.
Oh boy. Amen. Well, that is a fact right there.
So where's your soul going when you die?
So yeah, this is kind of nuts because there is an element of this that when I saw this video, I guess let's just take a look at the this 2-minute video. So when I saw this 2-minute video, it was very compelling for me. The idea that this was actually, it was this kid. Many people saw him. Many people have video and photos of him. There's live video of him on the roof, and the way that it's cut is nice because it's like a side-by-side shot. That's terrible. Him like on the roof, moving around and stationing and positioning himself, and then cameras on Trump too. And it's like 2 minutes. So if you haven't seen this,
I have not seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is why it was pretty compelling for me to actually believe that I don't think that he did this. So yeah, here we go.
If he was doing his job, I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful place with a gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, you see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator
What's happening?
elected and to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There
not
he is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here. And it's much tougher than if it happened.
Why don't people throw stuff at him?
Yeah, I don't know.
In recorded history,
All right,
we're the best border.
We'll
In fact,
pause
if they
really
could ever
quick. So for those of you that are listening and you can't see, go look up this video. Just put 2-minute Trump video in and you'll probably find it on YouTube. But check out our video, episode 2 at the tfhc.com, and you can go and watch our episodes there.
Yeah.
And you can see the video. There's a couple things that I've kind of done my own research on this a little bit, just diving in. So I was taking what I was being told, but then I wanted to go kind of look and fact check stuff for myself. And one of the things that really I looked at is the Secret Service came out and they said, well, the problem we didn't see, there was a tree in the way and we couldn't see.
And the arch of the pitch of the roof was unsafe. And
oh yeah, that was another. I mean, this has been a complete and total like
cluster.
just a save job by the CIA. Sorry, I almost said CIA. Secret Service.
CIA?
Yeah, I mean,
They're all working together.
there's more that came out today that said that they actually had turned the Trump team down, and for the Secret Service did for more they had been asking for more protection, and the Secret Service turned them down. Said we just don't have the manpower, we can't do it. And I think
Manpower? I see what you did there.
we got plenty of manpower, but no manpower. So yeah, like that's another thing too. The DEI aspect of all this was kind of starting to stick out here because the director's a woman, and not to say that women aren't capable of doing these jobs. That's not what we're trying to say, but it just seems like there was a huge infiltration of this into the Secret Service. I mean, it's just, we can't deny it. We got to be honest about it.
Yeah.
And when I started looking at this, so I went on Google and I pulled this up, and I got to say, there is a tree in the way from both sniper positions that they had they had two sniper teams, and I think it was actually the sniper team that was further away was the one that wound up shooting him, the shooter. They had a better line of sight because there was a tree in the way. Based on, you can tell on this video like where the kid is on the roof, because when you look up the satellite image, because I pulled up Google.
I looked at that.
Yeah, I zoomed in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that there was probably
Who put the ladder there? That's my question.
Yeah, that's been the $1 million thing, because I heard that he put the ladder there, but then I heard the ladder was already there, and I mean, but this is we'll keep playing the video. We'll go back to the video, but this is going on like 2 minutes before. But it gets way worse because there's been more and more information that comes out about how the Secret Service and all the local law enforcement just failed to communicate, failed to hold each other accountable.
Hey, what do you always say?
Don't even get me started. And literally this goes back 2 hours before this. 2 hours as they first identified this kid. And people started saying, hey, he's weird. You need to do something. And law enforcement marked him. They even had him looking through a rage finder. It's insane, but we'll keep playing this video.
Put up a chart. I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much? You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn boring. I try and explain that. Oh, there's it. Wow. You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that says,
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
That last snap, I called it that day.
It was the
snipers team finally taking him out. So that brings us to another point that has come out. Now, I can't verify this with 100% certainty, so I'm going to be careful about that, but it sure seems like it's pretty accurate. Supposedly, the Secret Service team literally the sniper team has orders that they can't shoot on sight. They have to actually get permission to shoot.
Yeah, I heard that this week too.
That is insane to me.
Well, they want to make sure that, their feelings are okay.
Right.
I think I told you this, like back in 2014, I think, when the Final Four was here, we went and seen Zach Brown a free concert. All along the rooftop, there was probably about 40 snipers.
Yeah.
Looking into the crowd.
No.
I didn't know if I felt safe or felt scared.
Making sure you didn't have a Las Vegas deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the amount of people. But it's just insane to me. How could you have so you would think in order to be in the FBI or the CIA or the Secret Service, you would think you'd have to have a pretty decorated police record in order to get in. You would think, right? Apparently not. But how are you going to train someone? Because, okay, I can't fathom that we put somebody up on a rooftop this person is going to have a lot of training, right? As a sniper.
Yeah.
They're using what it looks like probably a 300 Win Mag, Remington 700 spec scoped out, detailed for this job, bipod, the whole nine, sniper rifle, deliberately designed to do this, right? And by the way, that range, like 150 yards or whatever we're talking about, wherever you put the crosshairs, that's where the bullet's going.
Yeah, it's an easy shot.
There's no, unless you're in a hurricane, the bullet is not going to move. All right. So, but how could you have all these people, give them this equipment and these trained agents up on this roof doing what they're supposed to do, and then not give them the autonomy to be able to make decisions that are going to potentially save people's lives, including the former president, a presidential candidate, or anybody?
Yeah.
That is beyond stupid to me.
Well, it's because, they don't want to hurt anybody.
No, I agree. You hit the nail on the head.
They don't want, I understand.
Yeah. I mean,
but if there's people yelling, he's got a gun, that's not one of you guys.
They should have turned that kid into spaghetti sauce before he ever even had
a warning shot.
Nah, you put a warning shot through his head.
No, I mean through the scope.
Yeah. That's right. Here's your warning. You're dead. Don't try that again.
You think they do that during war?
Oh, come on, man. No way. No way. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Come on. If you have this kid, first of all, he's skulking around on a rooftop.
Yeah.
And then
all the agents were in the building, right? Because they said the inside of the building was secure.
Woohoo! Yay! Oh crap! We forgot the roof, the most important spot where somebody can actually get a shot off.
But it's sloped
from an elevated position.
Dangerous.
Yeah, right. And there's the picture of the cow running up on the roof, or whatever. It's insane to me because with the equipment that they're using, okay, I can tell you this. And there's a few things that I have a little bit of experience with this particular state in Pennsylvania. Okay, and I'll get into that here in a second. But from the Secret Service perspective, as far as the equipment, the scope on that rifle, you're not going to have a 300 Win Mag sniper rifle that doesn't have like probably a $6,000 scope sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that scope will basically go from probably like a 3 or 4 power zoom, 3 times, 4 times zoom, to probably 20 something.
Yeah.
You can get that scope any distance you want, and you're going to be able to basically tell what color eyes that kid has.
Yeah.
You could probably fill up the scope with his pupils.
Yeah.
So there is no rhyme or reason why, if anybody was paying attention at all. Now, granted, I know there was supposedly a tree in a way and then whatever, but this goes back like 2 hours. Like I said, 2 hours before they started identifying this kid. The police saw him. You can hear people yelling. You can see in the video he's on the roof. People are calling it out. The camera zoomed right in.
Yeah.
They were alerting the police plenty of time. The Secret Service knew about him on the roof 20 minutes supposedly before this happened. The Secret Service did, let alone all the local law enforcement. Because you had local law enforcement
there.
There's a flipping ladder back there.
Is this the same? Okay, is this the same instance where that one school shooting, the cop didn't go in, and all the people?
Uvalde, Texas.
No, the one I thought it was the one in Florida.
No, the one where they got in a bunch of trouble.
Yeah,
I think that was Uvalde, Texas.
He just stood out there.
They all stood in the hallway and didn't go in the classroom.
Yeah, is this kind of like that idea that they're, they want to be big and bad to the citizens, strong arm them,
but the actual sniper guy on the roof,
they don't.
Yeah, that's insane. I cannot tell you, because I mean, like, you can even see, I think in the video when you go back and you look, there were police officers walking around on the ground, like trying to figure out how to get on the roof, or like trying to like what to do. They didn't it's like they didn't know what to do. I know, it's like what like Joe's younger police clones were out there wandering around with like their empty heads. Yeah. So there's another element to this too. People don't understand, who've never been to Pennsylvania before. just a piece of insight, because I have gone hunting in Pennsylvania during deer season many times. Okay. One of the things you learn very quickly is there is a huge hunting culture. Huge. In the state of Pennsylvania. Okay. They literally have tens of thousands of acres of the state that are literally cordoned off, that are just considered game lands for hunting. So,
don't they pretty much just pull over the side of the road?
Sometimes, yeah. But they hunt bear, and I mean, everybody. There's multiple hunting seasons everywhere, but they have literally the first day of buck season is a state holiday.
Yeah.
Or the first Monday of buck season is a state holiday. Like, everything is shut down. So, like, the kids, the boys, like, from the time that they're, like, 12 practically, or even younger, are in the woods with their fathers and grandpas hunting using bolt-action rifles and, all kinds of stuff. Now, this kid had an AR-15, which does not stand for automatic rifle, for all of you that are like, oh, yeah, an automatic rifle.
Or assault rifle.
Or assault rifle. It stands for Armalite rifle, okay? Because it's modeled after the company that first made it. And what it is, it's a smaller civilian version of an M16. An M16 has 3 modes. It has a selector switch. That's what the military uses. It goes semi-auto, i.e. you have to pull the trigger every time to get around to come out the end of the gun. And then it has, yes. And then, now this is an M16 we're talking about, not the AR-15. An M16, the 3 selector switches are pew. I have to pull the trigger every time. Okay. Pew pew, which would be burst mode, basically. You can, I think it fires a 3-round burst. And then the last mode is, I want to empty the thing as fast as humanly possible and spray bullets as fast. Full auto. Okay. So semi-auto.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, right. Really fast pews. Okay. And you can hear even on a semi-auto, right? He's pulling the trigger, how fast he can pull the trigger.
Yeah.
The other thing too is a 2.23 round that he's firing, or a 5.56. They're equal. Okay. I don't know exactly what the gun was chambered in. They're the same for all intents and purposes.
Same caliber.
It's the same round. One's a NATO round and one's a civilian round, effectively. We'll just call it that. But they've traveled about 3,000 feet per second.
Yeah, it's a fast-moving 22.
Okay, it's a light round, and it's very stable. It doesn't typically bounce a lot, especially in a heavier rifle like that. Probably was heavy enough where it's going to absorb a lot of the recoil. That's why it's kind of amazing that more people didn't get shot, including Trump. If we play this out. But that kid had probably been hunting several times before, I would guess. I don't know. But that there's a lot of guns up there. A lot of guns. A lot of handguns. A lot of rifles. That's just something about the state not everybody knows. So, a little bit of information there to kind of put in your pipe to, talk about when you talk to your friends. So, but you can clearly see here, either way, I would say this is a massive either deliberate failure or accidental failure on the part of the Secret Service.
If it's accidental.
If it's
accidental,
it's
atrocious. They need to just tear everything down and build it from the ground up. Atrocious.
I cannot. And if it really is true that the sniper teams do not have the autonomy to shoot, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Just unforgivable.
See, I can understand like a hostage situation.
Yeah.
But when he's by him, a quote unquote lone gunman.
Why? Let's just logically think about this. Why would you need to ask permission from someone who is not even seeing what you're seeing through the scope to fire the gun?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
If that's really what they do. So if you're the idiot that came up with that in the Secret Service, I guess I just said what you are. You're an absolute total idiot. And I guarantee that policy is probably going to get changed pretty fast.
Yeah.
So, but this gets crazier.
It does?
It does. As insane as it is. So if you haven't seen this, you can actually go to our Facebook page as well. So just look up the Tinfoil Hat Club podcast on Facebook. Join our family, please. That would be fantastic. And you can see the video there as well.
My brother sent me a text that said they tried to kill him.
Yeah. So what did he mean they?
Well, we all know who they are, right? See, I'm not like I said,
who? Because that could be a lot of different people depending on like where your mindset is.
Well, we could go the DNC.
Okay.
We could go. We go even further. We could go like maybe it was another Republican group. They don't because I mean nobody. I mean he's not a unifier at all.
There are people who are very much for him getting back in office.
I know,
like not just voters, but there are certain entities around the world that are very much for it.
It could have been China because they want to. They
seem actually pretty encouraged about him supposedly getting back in office. The one that I had proposed that I'm like, yeah, I could see that they wouldn't be fans of him coming back in was Iran.
Yeah, could be
because he'll pull the rug on the nuclear that he was already pulled the rug on, and then Joey, who's made of cotton candy, and sure, was letting them basically do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
So that's concerning in and of itself for a multitude of reasons. But
I'm not like I said, I'm not a Trumper, and I don't think he is. People believe that he is our savior, but we were. I was talking to my kids Friday evening. We were telling them. I know this might sound for some of you listening at home are probably gonna blow your tops and think I'm insane.
Oh, you insane person! Go.
We said the 90s was probably the best economy that I remember. I mean, you could fill a grocery cart for almost $20. And you know who the president was then?
It was Clinton.
Clinton.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I would love for him to come back in office because we had it easy. Think about it. We did.
Yeah, comparatively so. That was like the last good decade.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
I got to tell you, though, our economy was actually pretty dang on good before we hit COVID. And so we got through COVID, and really, Trump didn't have much time left. So what happened was, like, when you look at like my 401k is a perfect example. You can see this huge dip, right, when we went through COVID. But then when it came back up, it literally picked right back up where it left off.
But we have to remember all those policies he's put in place before he went out of office.
Yeah,
were still in effect when Biden went in.
Well, yeah, and they would have been okay. But what happened was, there's a lot to that. Yeah. And I lived it firsthand, and I watched it, and I understand economics. So here's what happened, and it started with Trump. The stimulus money.
Oh yeah,
that's what really did all this.
Oh yeah,
and here's why. Hang with me if you don't agree. Just listen to me because I watched this and I lived it. Before we hit COVID, okay, the Democrats wanted to raise the minimum wage.
Yeah.
They wanted to have these ridiculous $15 an hour wages, which we now have, or relatively there, in like fast food and everything. Okay, well, that's stupid because all that does is you just raise the cost of living with it.
Inflation.
Everybody, that's the whole point of inflation. Everything adjusts. The other thing that we had before we went through COVID is we already had more available jobs than we had workers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was a disparity between available jobs and available workers. Okay. Then we went through COVID and we shut everything down. All right. And people got laid off. So unemployment went through the roof. Right.
Oh, God, this is going to get banned. Great.
We're already getting shadow banned on YouTube anyway. So go ahead. What are you going to do?
Can I go ahead and
hurt us?
Can I go ahead and say pandemic?
Exactly. Or I won't say it. There's no point in it. So, but what happened there is we had a huge spike in unemployment, right? Because everybody got laid off. Well, then we had what everybody referred to as the Great Resignation. So anybody that was like a baby boomer and they were close to retirement, they're like, screw this, I'm out of here, I'm done. And they retired.
Yeah.
So now, ultimately, what you really have is you have a huge disparity now between available workers and jobs. Now, we didn't at that point because unemployment had shot through the moon, right? So you couldn't really feel it. Well, Trump gets out of office, and I think we got one round of stimulus checks when he was in. He gets out, and Biden comes in, and he takes that and just throws it through the moon because they recognized that all of the handout money between the stimulus checks and the COVID checks, okay?
Yeah.
You had to literally pay someone like $20-some an hour to offset what they were getting from the government for free.
Yeah.
So what happened is everybody had to raise what they were willing to pay to entice workers to come back.
Yeah.
Right? Because the other thing that happened is the minute you start throwing all this artificial money into the economy starts going like crazy because people spend it, right? That's what happens. And we shot the economy through the moon, right? And then, well, crap, the economy's going really well and we're selling all this stuff, even though we don't have stuff, you know, because then after that came the, you know, all the global shipping, you know, crap that we had and all the backlog that we, you know, probably finally have gotten through, or at least most of the way. So then we spiked the economy and we put all this artificial money into the economy, shot the economy through the moon. So then we were creating jobs, right? That's why he's like, I created however many jobs. Well, yeah, I'm sure you did, you idiot, because you artificially spiked the economy with our money. Okay. So then now we've created all these jobs. We can't fill them.
You know why?
Yeah, because we didn't have enough workers in the first place.
You know what happened to those workers? They got raptured.
No, I can tell you what happened. They got craptured is what they got. It was a crap show. So now we have all these jobs that we can't fill. We have less workers than we did before. So now there's a huge disparity between available jobs and available workers, right? And we're paying them all the stimulus money. So everybody just raised. That's how you got all the inflation, right? It was like we did everything we could do to cause inflation. Right? It was like all the check boxes.
It was almost like it was planned.
It was. That's exactly what they did. Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? Isn't that the old saying?
A pandemic.
Yeah, right. So they did exactly. They used COVID to do what they wanted to the Democrats.
Yeah.
They used COVID to accomplish what they couldn't get done prior to COVID with the raise of everything.
You know what? My question with all this.
I could go into more, but you get the gist. What's your question?
This is a whole nother could be a whole nother show. But all that money we've given to Ukraine, we could use it.
Yeah, man.
I could use a new
How about
car.
you give it back to the people that it belongs to?
Yeah.
Us.
I want an Abrams.
You like was it Arnold Schwarzenegger's got a Sherman?
Yeah.
I think he's got a Sherman tank.
Yeah.
This is my Sherman.
Yeah, I mean,
It's my tank.
and we are not, one man is not going to fix this. You know?
No. Listen, if we keep riding the same train that we've always been on with these two idiotic parties, nothing's going to get fixed. It's like the Bloods and the Crips, man, and the war just gets more and more dangerous as we go on because they've upped the stakes now to the point where they're interfering in our election process.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say it before, Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
Man's freedom resides in 3 boxes: the ballot box, the jury box, and the cartridge box.
Yeah.
And they've taken away 2 of them. So what's that leave us with?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, like we just talked about earlier. Like, would they have replaced Joe Biden in his dementia state if Trump's head gets turned into spaghetti sauce?
No.
No, probably not.
I think there would have been a war.
I think that unfortunately is coming.
I think if he'd have died, there would have been probably the start of the Civil War. I really think people would follow that man to their death. I mean, we've said it before. He could kill somebody, and they were like, "No, he didn't."
It's pretty crazy.
It's lies. It's fake news.
Well, and then like I said, then we have to be very careful as Christians, right? As Christ followers, we have to be very careful who we deitize, right, and say are ordained by God. And I think that's kind of one of the things we're seeing. Now, one of the things that I want to play this video too, because this is a guy, and this is crazy because I fact checked this, and this did actually occur several months ago was when this video was shot. And this is actually a video of a gentleman who, for all intents and purposes,
remember the passage from Amos, folks.
Prophesied that this was going to happen. The evil. Oh, you're talking about the evil has to let itself be known before it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like God lets all of his prophets know what's going on.
Yeah. So we're going to play this because this is pretty crazy, I got to say. So we'll let everybody watch this.
new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan, and then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash. Yeah. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash. Yeah. Worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned me about this. It would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office. And he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. And sorry, what is the White House? But it's the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong on this. And then I could see that darkness that was the heaviness upon America with the financial crisis of what I saw coming. It started to lift above the trees, and I saw the blue and the things coming back out, and the green times and the good times coming back again. But the Lord said it would be forth a time of a season of a shaking, and it would be a shaking to awaken. And in this, this would basically that He was not done with America. There would be a great revival come, and it's not all doom and gloom.
So anyway. There you go. That's the prophecy. Now, I will say it's pretty nuts that dude at least was given something. Yeah.
Why do they always think there's going to be a great revival?
I know. That's where the train comes off the tracks for me.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to say? If this man did, and I'm going to just say, if this man actually did receive something from the Lord, then let it be so. And I'm not the one to poo-poo it. But the heart change that we talked about, and then the crying in the Oval Office, and the revival, and I'm like, I hope. I would like that. I mean, I don't want the crash to happen, but the revival aspect I would love. But it's like,
that's not in the Bible. There's no revival. The great turning away.
You and I are in the belief system, as is a lot of our viewers, I think, that we are near the end, not like very near the end, like within a few years near the end.
Yeah, we can see the end of the rope. I'll take you to the end of the rope.
Oh, wow. Did you just go Boys to Men on me in here? Oh, wow.
Sorry, folks.
A special treat on the Tinfoil Hat Club. Ben singing Boys to Men. Wow, okay.
Sorry, folks.
Fire up your 90s goodness. Live your Bill Clinton years all over again today on the Tinfoil Hat Club.
Let me just look back and
we're not saying Bill Clinton's a good guy either, because he's a scumbag, but the economy was in good shape.
Those were great times.
The economy was in good shape. I got to give him that.
That was the last good decade.
Yeah.
It was.
It was, because it was just a trash heap of garbage after. Even the music, like everything, the music, it just...
I love the music from the 90s.
No, I'm talking the 2000s.
Oh,
like when we hit the 2000s, just everything quality-wise just went down the crapper.
No, this guy, I don't.
I know. What do you make of that?
I don't want to.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough to reconcile. I mean, you got to give it to him as far as the ear thing. Now, I think because clearly he got that in the vision. I'm like, how could you predict that, right? I'm like, that's pretty nuts. So, but I think what he saw in his vision is he just assumed the eardrum breaking instead of actually the ear actually getting shot.
So, like we've talked, I've had prophetic dreams.
Yeah.
But I've never, I mean, what do you do with that?
Share it. You know, I don't know how far you share it, but I'm glad he shared it, you know, because at least it's like, okay, well, maybe this dude's onto something.
But I don't think, I mean,
all the other stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that's not going to happen because, I mean, everybody's been saying there's going to be a crash.
Right. That's probably that hasn't happened yet.
I know. But the revival, I'm for the way the state of the church is in these days, I don't see it happening. It's going to have to come from, it doesn't come from the church, it comes from out of the church, like outside of the church rather than in the church.
Yeah, the church is too broken, decayed, and corrupted and crippled.
It's just like the government.
To have a revival.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably even in worse shape than that's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah, no. And so I'm saying no on that one.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, were you given a vision of what was to come potentially?
Or who gave him the vision?
Yeah, that's true too. You know, that's where you go back to the Amos thing.
Yeah, and well, I'm like I always, you know, one of Baal's names was Lord. That's what Baal means, is Lord. So I'm questioning.
Oh, that's who is our
and he said
God, our Elohim.
Yeah, and he said the Lord. Why didn't he say Yahweh? You know, I know people assume, but really, I mean, I'm gonna start taking that stance.
Oh, as far as like specifying who you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like we've talked about before too, from the Masonic perspective. You know, like they reference, you know, wanting more light, which, you know, your first instinct is to go, well, Christ and God, and because God is who invented light, and then a lot of times Christ is referenced as light, but then when you get in there and you start peeling things back and you reference, you know, you see that Satan is the one that is the morning star.
Yeah. It's true.
And light and all this thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a matter of which God you serve, right?
Yeah.
So, and yes, there are multiple gods. If you've not heard us talk about this, you should go back and listen to some of our earlier episodes. If you go to Psalm 82, now, just to clarify, there is only one big G, the God that we serve. We are not polytheistic or monotheistic. No, however, there is an assembly. We
do believe in a pantheon of gods.
Assembly of smaller, lesser G gods that's who God handed over all the other nations to be rulers over. 72.
It happened at the Tower of Babel.
You know, 72, right?
Yeah, between 70 and 72.
You know, it's funny that Metallica's new album, 72 Seasons. Just put that together. Interesting.
Wow. They know. People, I'm tired of this.
It's awful coincidence, Ben.
I am tired
It's just coincidence, Ben.
They know. Or do they know more than the people in the church?
I think there's a combo pack there. I think that sometimes people are unwitting accomplices to Satan. And I think that sometimes they're absolutely fully aware of their link and willingness to do things for Satan.
Yeah.
And evil and darkness and spiritual warfare.
And that's what we're seeing. It's manifesting.
Oh, right before our eyes every day. And it's just going to, and here's the thing. My take is, you know, I don't know. You know, I'll be open and honest with everybody listening. I don't know what I'm going to do come November. I don't know if I'm going to vote or not. You know, I haven't made up my mind yet.
I know what I'm going to do.
So
I'll say it proud. I'm not voting.
He's abstaining. Dissent. I used to think, you know, I used to be of the camp too of like, you know, if you don't vote, you don't get a right to complain. I'm like, well, you know, wait a minute now. Let's really think about that.
I should have a right to complain more because there's nobody for me.
That's
what
right.
I'm looking for.
We want to play a fun game of pick your rapist. Is that really what this? Isn't that what November is anyway?
Yeah, or which God do you serve?
Oh, we're gonna make people mad this week. But come on, it's true though,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, this is disgusting that we have only really 2 legitimate options.
Yeah.
I could throw Kennedy in there, but he's a snake too.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in him. He's done some things where I'm like, and his vice president is not anywhere in the vicinity of
I'm surprised they
prepared to
didn't
become
ask
president.
him. The Democrats didn't ask him.
I think the Democrats got themselves in a really crappy situation. I thought this was more planned out than what it appears to be.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Well, we didn't. Wasn't us killing Trump wasn't
I don't
successful.
think that they expected him to like fight as much as he did to stay in.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, who was fighting? Like, dude, you can clearly tell this individual is not mentally well.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make an argument right now of like, well, dude, if you feel that you're in that bad a shape, maybe you shouldn't continue to be president.
Yeah.
Let's put old Kamala in there and see how she does over the next few months. It'll be a disaster. We're going to get to that. So you want to know who your new Democratic or it sure seems like it hasn't been officially announced yet. I don't think, but
it has.
that she's. Well, I don't. Yeah, but I don't think that they've actually
they
tapped her. As
They got to go to
they're
convention.
going to. How can they not? Can you imagine the backlash if they passed over her? They would just. There's no way. They're never going to do it. They can't do it. They would just. They might as well automatically just go, Donald, you're in.
Well, it's going to happen anyway.
Apparently, if we believe the prophecy.
What happens if it doesn't come true? What happens if he loses?
Oh, see, that's just the thing is like, we've seen this before too. There was the fireman that came out and said that he was going to win. It was going to this second term and all these things. And none of that happened. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't particularly I don't have the gift of prophecy. I don't, at least that I'm not aware of anyway.
We're pretty good at calling stuff though.
Well, that's just reading people and human behavior. I'm good at reading people and human behavior. There's no doubt about that. I thank you, Lord, for that gift. But prophecy, no, not so much.
There's a guy that has done prognosticating, I think, for the past, maybe since the 70s with the presidents, and he's got them all right.
Yeah, you've said that before.
And I think he's said that Trump still won't win. I think he said that in the spring.
There's other things out there like Chat GPT, and it says there won't be a presidential election. So what's going to happen between here and then?
What if we go?
Ben, we're going to get raptured.
I had a conversation with someone yesterday. They asked me that, and I said no.
No, unfortunately not.
And it kind of
that was a hard one to hear.
Yeah, rocked their world, but they were willing to understand and listen. But I always say,
good conversation you had.
Well, I always tell people, wherever God has you, that's your Goshen.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't make any difference, man. I mean, like we've always said, I like their version better than ours. But, it doesn't matter if... Here's what... The mission is to save as many people as we can, right?
Yeah.
To win as many people to Christ as we can. Between here and the time that we are not here anymore, whether that's through natural means or Christ comes back, it doesn't matter. The mission never changes, like I say, right?
Oh.
Whether it's 5 minutes before or 50,000 years before, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Mission never changes.
We still have the fall feast to celebrate.
Yeah, we've lost track of the heifers, so we should go look at maybe the heifers are getting sacrificed right now while we're busy focused on all this stuff.
Oh, wouldn't that be grand?
It's going to happen still, I'm telling you. I think they're going to do that in October. Those red heifers are going to get sacrificed. A red heifer is going to get sacrificed.
One way or another.
One way or another.
Or God will just totally... What if God gives the red heifers heart attacks?
Could. If he didn't want it to happen, they ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
See, now I do not personally, I know a lot of people, like I don't think your dad, he thinks that that's not going to happen. The temple's not going to happen. I think the temple is absolutely going to happen. Personally, I think it's going to happen. I don't agree. Because God won't inhabit it.
No.
Just like right now, I firmly believe, and I think you do too, based on everything that we've seen, the studies that we've done, the time that we've spent on everything, I firmly believe that Israel has the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really pretty empty box. I don't think God resides in it at all.
Man, yeah. I had a thought, but I'm going to pause that because we need to continue with the show.
No, go ahead. We got plenty of time.
I don't want to get into it would be like opening the Ark of the Covenant in Indiana Jones.
Oh wow! Yeah,
bringing all kinds of ghosts out.
Just stay tuned. And is that another show?
It would be like what we've discussed on the show before.
What?
Like the actual. There is no Levitical priests in charge over there.
No.
So.
No, that's been long gone.
It's it's let's see, who would have been Esau's descendants, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Edomites.
Yes.
Not good people.
No, because you can see signs of actual true rabbis. This is not real Israel protesting.
Jeez.
And when you have that, you got to question. You got to question who who does Trump really support when he says Israel?
Yeah,
and then you have to question yourself.
Yeah.
Who I support are the descendants of Abraham.
Yeah, because they're two different groups.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the correct ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not Esau that God hated, but the correct descendants of Abraham.
Judah and Benjamin.
Yeah, and Jacob's line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one we have to support.
Yeah, that's the two tribes, right? Judah and Benjamin, I believe.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Edomites.
And the Levites, I guess they also get in there.
Yeah,
priesthood.
Yeah, the priest. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Like the true
Jews.
The true Jews.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to get all kinds of hate for this, but
well, just go back and you need to go look at your history and read. That's just a fact. That's actually who the line.
Yeah.
When you go biblically and you go down the line, the two tribes that are of Abraham's, the promise that was made to Abraham of the descendants, are those two tribes.
Yeah. Yeah, that are still over there.
Yeah,
but they're probably the ones that they're bombing in
which are the
Gaza.
What a mess.
It could be.
It's such a mess over there. It's like, who knows anymore?
Because they would be Palestinians.
I'm just glad that we were grafted in.
Oh, yeah.
We've been, you know what, America, I think that's one of the things that was in the Trump's 2025. Everybody needs to go read the 2025 plan.
If you haven't, that's scary.
That Trump is one to have.
That is scary.
Like one of the things is reinstituting the draft.
Yeah.
See, we have the draft. You know what God has?
The graft.
The graft. I said it to Adrian earlier today. Yeah. Trademark.
Yeah. If you really, I mean, that's the one thing. If he gets in, we could be goose stepping.
Yeah, I hear you. He's only got 4 years is relative when you want to put some of the things in place, right? That's just it's plenty of time to turn it into a dictatorship.
Is this? Are people not going to like what we're saying? Or?
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, I mean, look.
We always said we're going to say what we want.
Yeah, and
that's okay if you disagree with us. That's fine. You don't have to hate.
We don't like the other party either.
I love his dad. I don't agree with everything his dad says.
No.
He's our pastor. I love him to death.
Yeah.
I've disagreed with many people that we've had on this show, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Calm down. Don't lose your biscuits.
I'm glad he's alive. I'm glad he didn't die.
Trump? Who, Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody should die.
No, I agree. That's rough.
Yeah.
The whole thing's just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrid, man. The whole thing is just. See, to me, I just read Christ's words, and I'm like, it's more and more every day. We see it more and more every day.
Yeah.
Like it's playing out right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Just like he said.
It's true.
So, but we do want to share with you at the end of the show here, because this is just too good not to share. We do want to share, if you haven't seen this video of your new or soon to be Democratic candidate for president. She is going to help us understand what we can be when we are unburdened by what we have been. So here's your soon-to-be Democratic presidential candidate.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
What can be
unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be
Unburdened by what has been.
what we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been? What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been?
Who we can be, unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been?
Where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now.
What can be unburdened by what has been?
What can be unburdened by what has been? What can be unburdened by what has been?
Oh my goodness, dude. Hey, Ben.
That well, I will say, if she gets in, it's going to be as funny as Joe.
It'll be a whole nother level
You
of
remember that old skit?
disturbing.
The skit from Saturday Night Live. Now, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. now, Inspirational Sayings by Kamala
I
Harris.
know. I had a segment when my original podcast that I ever did. I had a segment called Gibberish with Joe, which was wow. We're gonna have to come up with something. So craziness with Kamala.
Craziness with Kamala.
Cray with Kamala.
They're the gifts. I mean, these politicians are the gifts that keep on giving.
It's like the gifts that keep on taking from us.
I know, but you take the good with the bad.
Oh my gosh! Can you
the
imagine?
facts of life?
So there you go. There's your Democratic presidential candidate right there.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, unburdened by what has been.
What does that mean?
I've been trying to figure that out.
What does that mean?
I don't think she understands what it means either.
Was she trying to be like Kennedy? Ask not what you can do for your country, but what whatever. I probably screwed that one up, but
No, you got it right. Ask not what you can do. Ask what you can do for your country.
Yeah.
Or ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Yeah. At least he only used that once that I know of.
So what did Ted say? Pass the potatoes.
It's just
After that, it's like,
I know, right?
this is fun.
This is our life. So we were laughing before we hit record because my wife and I we were having a lazy Sunday after church and just trying to. It's been a busy week and kind of stressful, and so we were just kind of sort of half napping on the couch. Just put a mindless movie on, and the mindless movie we picked was Billy Madison.
Oh yeah.
And we came to the scene where the O'Doyles run over the banana peel that got left in the road, and they go off the cliff.
O'Doyle rules. O'Doyle rules.
And I looked at Adrian and I said, "That's America."
It is.
It is, dude.
We're like a tire fire that's burning.
Yeah, we are a 4-star. Forget dumpster fire. We are like a septic plant meltdown.
We are.
It's just trash time.
Because the church dropped the ball. And we were also talking, Maria's mom came over for this weekend, and she's in the boomer generation.
Yep.
And so we said the generation that dropped the ball was the boomers. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, I think our older Gen X too.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball on. They didn't really fight for they were more.
Well, they were the hippie counterculture. Of the 60s.
Yeah, and that's the reason the church went quiet then.
Mm-hmm. They stopped standing up for what was right.
I know they always say, well, that school the prayer was taken out of school. Then, what were they doing?
Why did we let it?
Yeah, why did we let it? We let one woman do it.
Yep.
And we just sat there.
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, I just sat there and did nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
yep.
You might as well have rolled over and had your belly scratched like a dog.
Yeah, look where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you look at, a lot of the younger generation now, too, that I think we're responsible for, our generation, unfortunately. Not saying all of us, but, come on, they're our kids. And you want to know what happens when you have a spoiled, rotten brat kid that grows up to be adults? Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Now
true.
we got a bunch of spoiled, rotten adults that if they don't get their way, they cry until they do.
Yeah.
And we capitulate and we let them get away with it.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's sick. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Are we going to talk about his VP pick?
Oh, Vance?
Yeah.
See, that's weird too, man.
Have you seen? He looks evil. He looks like Satan's face. He kind of. I'm going to go here.
Oh boy.
Okay, you know when Copeland, with where his face contorted. That's what he looks like.
I didn't catch that so much, but it's
There's
just
a photo of him, and it's got the raised eyebrows, and then they supposedly said he did Botox or something for his speech. His face looks different, but he's
like 30 some years old. Why would he Botox his face?
He looks like a demon. So I mean,
shoot a bunch of botulinum into my face to help me look pretty for my speech. He's like 37.
So you think he's a plant?
Man, I don't even know anymore. I was like, if it was me, I mean, I was kind of surprised that he didn't pick Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Or Vivek.
Or him.
I liked Vivek.
Or other people.
I liked Vivek better than... I liked what he was saying. I liked his money aspect of things.
Yeah, it was strange to me.
Yeah.
It was a very strange
Maybe they
pick.
put him in there because he's an insider and he didn't like Trump to begin with.
Well, he didn't like Trump to begin with, for sure. I mean, he came out and was very critical of him, and then now all of a sudden he's like in love with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. I mean, he's one better shot away from being president. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, it's the fact. I'm like, and that's just the thing with Kennedy is like, okay, for all of you that are thinking about voting for Kennedy, you know all the things that he wants to do. He wants to shut down the CIA. He wants to do all the things
his uncle did
and his dad wanted to do. And well, we know how they wound up. They got killed by the CIA.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Good luck. Catch me at the lemonade stand. Prove me wrong. You know, okay, so the likelihood is high, especially when we know now that the Secret Service isn't exactly up to the task, are they? You think they're going to be able to protect that guy? Well, first of all, his uncle and his dad, I mean, the Secret Service was at least in on it with his uncle.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And probably his dad,
and probably his dad, too. So there's no saving him, like, right? So, but, okay, so then you have to look and you go, okay, well, his vice president. He picked his vice president because he needed money.
Yeah.
He needed money. That's all. She was a gravy boat. That's all she was. And she is completely and totally unfit to even be vice president, in my opinion. But she's definitely unfit to be president.
Yeah.
And she's a leftist.
Yeah.
You know, so as a Christian, and
we are so divided
right
now as a nation, and each party is subdivided into another subsect of the party.
Yeah.
The Republicans are as bad as the Democrats.
So what you're saying is they have a bunch of little fiefdoms?
Yeah, kind of like the church.
Oh, you beat me to it. It's like, that was perfect.
I'm sorry.
It's like we've been doing shows together for a while, Ben. I threw the softball right down the middle, and you smashed it out of the park. Good job. It is. It's just like the church.
Yeah.
It's as broken as the church.
Yeah.
You know, when we went through this, friends of mine in the Friday group that I've talked about several times, we went through the Constitution study when we were going through COVID, and it was really looking at the Constitution through the Christian lens.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that were going on at the time. And man, those pastors back then, they weren't having this junk.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were kind of leading the charge, and like, if a nation decays, it's on us. It's on us because we didn't keep it from happening from the pulpit.
Yeah. It's true.
You basically let Satan have a foothold, and once he's got one foot in the door, good luck getting him back out again.
Yeah.
Because people are naturally evil-minded
No.
and gravitate towards sin.
No, they're not. Come on.
Sorry, I'm bringing too much reality to the party today.
Well,
I'm a Debbie Downer today.
what are the 5 statements that Satan made And is it Ezekiel or Isaiah?
No, I don't know.
I will. What are the 5 statements a politician makes?
I will.
And where's God in that?
Yeah, nowhere to be found.
No. So I don't care what they say. The minute they say, I will, sorry, folks.
That's why when you see a lot of these pastors now that have these sermon series, that's like unburdening your soul, getting through trauma.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's God? What are you doing for God? You're so focused on yourself all the time. Not to say that people shouldn't be, dealing with trauma, but it's all just about self.
Yeah.
And how you can be better at this, and you can be better at that, and this, and yourself here and self there. And it's like, where's God in the equation?
Yeah, nowhere.
Like, instead of crying about everything going on in your life and how to be, navigating through whatever your garbage is, like, what are you doing to help lost people?
Yeah, it's true.
What are you doing to speak truth?
Oh, come on. No, don't bring truth in here.
No, we can't have him showing up. That's just too much.
That would ruin the party.
Well, that'll ruin the party for sure, man.
Maybe we should start a third party called Truth.
Man, that's another thing too is, and normally, obviously this is more of a political show than we normally do, but given the nature of what's been going on, it's how can you avoid it, right? But it's just like, at least if there was another party, somebody might actually vote for it, because I cry independent candidates all the time. I like it was a comedian, and forgive me, Mr. Comedian, I cannot remember who you were, but I thought this was a brilliant idea. He said that the politicians should have all the patches sewn onto their suits.
I think it was George Carlin.
Like the race teams. So you know who's paying for them.
Yeah.
It's like, that's brilliant. We should do that.
And also, George Carlin said that people are just terrible and evil. Because anytime somebody starts to preach peace, they kill them.
Yep.
He said Jesus.
Yep.
He said JFK.
Yep.
RFK. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. He said they killed them all.
That's right.
Because evil wants to survive and take it over.
Peace is not profitable for any evil.
No, and for those that think, oh, well, this election will bring peace. No,
the divide is going to continue to widen.
Yeah.
In this country, because I watched what happened in 2016 when he got elected the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, people lost their minds.
Yeah.
Lost their minds.
I'm glad we're on the same page with this one.
What, as far as like Trump and all that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe,
I know we do.
I may vote for him.
Folks, we do differ on some things.
Yeah, that's fine.
But, if he was going to vote for Trump, I wouldn't hold it over his head.
That's good, because I may. Gosh,
so when it all comes crashing down, I'll be like, I told you so.
I'll be like, yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's like you can't win no matter what you do anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. It's just sad that it's come to that. Because the other thing, too, is, like everybody feels it. Like, I don't know what to poll. Like, if you polled Americans and asked them, do you think that we're going to be in a civil war in the next 5 years?
I'll say we've been in one already.
I think it's like a civil Cold War.
Yeah, it's and a culture war, too.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. No doubt about that.
Media war.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the media war is like, in some ways, it's almost like, I mean, face it, we don't have media anymore. We have propaganda.
Yeah, it's
no different than like we look at Russia and go, Russian national television is just a bunch of propaganda. I'm like,
yeah.
What do you think we have?
Yeah.
It's like Burger King. It's like propaganda your way.
Yep.
And if you want the right leaning propaganda, then you go to Fox, and if you want the left leaning propaganda, then you go to CNN or MSNBC or whatever.
And if you want the truth, listen to a good Bible on Spotify, or listen to our show,
or go to the tfhc.com and listen to some episodes.
I said Bible because I just go straight to the Bible because that's the truth.
Absolutely,
that's where you need to go for truth.
God's voice matters more than any man, including the two of us.
Yes, that's why I say.
You might think we're lunatics. Perfectly fine. Go read your Bible.
And they'll be like, hey, these guys are right.
Spoken like your father. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Yeah, because, well, I mean, let's face it, like most of the times, I mean, we're human. We're going to make mistakes, right? We're going to have opinions and things that maybe don't always line up perfectly, and we need to have correction. But I would say that both of us have a heart for God, you know, and reaching lost people. And I don't care. I've said it before. I mean, I've got opinions, but ultimately at the end of the day, I care what God's opinion is.
Yeah.
I want my opinion to be in line with God's opinion.
Let's see what it says. Oh, you said that, but let's see what the Bible says. It doesn't say that.
Yeah. And we've had people pick our words apart, you know, before. And
I'm sure they'll pick them apart.
I'm sure, you know, if any diehard Trumpers watching, we just basically got written off there. You can take that to the bank more than likely, but that's okay. You know, if you're that diehard and you're dyed in the wool and nothing that he could ever do will change your mind, then you're the problem, not me.
Exactly. You need to be following Christ, not man.
Because, you know, he's just a political candidate. He's just a man. He's just a man.
Yeah.
Did God save him the other day? Yeah, make the argument for it. Sure. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe he got lucky. Who's to say? I can't say. I dare not speak for the Lord.
I don't know.
The Lord for Yahweh. I got to make sure I think when I say the Lord, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, but somebody I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. Tell me which Lord you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
that's why when I have something and I really take it seriously of what title I'm going to say, who gave me that.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I tell you, one of the things I'm trying to flesh Christian out of my vocabulary.
Yeah,
and just say Christ follower.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't like Christian anymore. Sad to say, it's been sullied so bad.
Oh, it has. It's almost that's the third party. They're honest. Let's think about this for a minute. Okay, we haven't really touched this. The whole, I know they've quote unquote the Christian nationalism thing.
Oh, yeah.
That is just as wrong as the other two parties, because they're putting God or they're putting country above God, and they're saying God is like whatever of this country, and he's gonna bless it and blah blah blah. Why won't he bless another country? And I know we discuss the gods that have controlled the land and everything, but it has to be the nation. It has not just Joe Schmo.
If you're ungodly, it doesn't matter what nation you are. If you're an ungodly nation and you do the things that we do, God's never going to bless you.
Yeah.
He's going to watch you destroy yourself.
And
he's going to hand you over to your ruler and your king, and that's obviously Satan.
And he's turned his
And unfortunately, Christians, that means us too.
Yes.
We don't get a magic hall pass out of that. I wish we did. You can go back and read your prophets that tried to go to kings and say, hey, if you don't stop doing X, Y, and Z, we're all going to suffer. And the king didn't stop doing X, Y, and Z. And guess what happened?
No rain for 3 years.
Everybody suffered.
That's right.
Including the prophet that went to him and told him that.
Yeah.
So if you think we're magically exempt because you're some kind of Christ follower in America and you're going to be magically spared from all of that, you're sadly mistaken.
See, I can't get behind I used to say God and country people. You know?
Yeah.
The typical 2000s country song. Like, you know, what is it? Pickup truck, God, and an American flag.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not Christian. If we were to read Daniel, you know, wouldn't the flag be the statue that they were forced to bow down to? Oh, I just hurt some people's feelings.
Speaking of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah, I think I heard some heads blow up.
Oh man. You know,
hey,
I would be extremely proud of our country if we actually did things God's way.
Or stand for the national anthem.
Oh, getting saucy in here, Ben.
We
would. Would you be proud of your country if we were a godly country?
That's a hard question.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. Because my allegiance is not with the country, it's with God.
Yeah.
I don't care who's in that office. I don't care. My allegiance is with God.
Yeah, ultimately we're called to fight the good fight, right? Like
Yeah.
all this is like, this political process and everything that goes on in this country, we're called to fight the good fight, and we're called to fight against evil, even if we feel like it's, the end game here and it's almost pointless in some ways.
Yeah.
I think we need to be careful of throwing our hands up in the air and saying, well, it's all we're going to, first of all, definitely don't throw your hands up in the air and go, well, I'm just going to get raptured out of here anyway. So it's on you, losers. Sorry about you. You're going to be very sadly mistaken when that doesn't happen. But beyond that, we do have to do everything we can to fight the good fight within reason.
Oh,
and, I would be more proud of my country if we weren't so evil.
Yeah.
We're evil. I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is. The things that we do and things that we allow on a daily basis in this country and what we've become, we're evil. I think I've said it before. I think we're the most evil nation on the earth. Yeah. And that's saying something.
And if let's say that guy's, whatever he's seen comes true about the collapse, that would just be God's judgment on us. God's been judging us for years.
Yeah. So
we could say COVID was a judgment, even if it was.
Here's the thing. We've seen this so many times, and it pains me to say this because it means that we suffer too. Like I said, what we need here? You know what we need in this country? We need some good persecution. We need some real hard times.
And that might be coming.
It might be. You know why? Because anytime we see persecution and we see hard times, people tend to flock towards the Lord. And people tend to get right with God and start meeting in secret. And we have revival and Christ gets illuminated. And we have more and more people that get saved in those moments around the world when heavy persecution is happening than when we're fat, rich, lazy, and spoiled like we are right now.
Oh, yeah.
And look what every time somebody gets fat, rich, lazy, and spoiled throughout history, they wind up destroying themselves because they turn away from God and they lean into all the the things of the world.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's exactly where we are. We're the richest nation on the earth. We've been for years. We're exactly like everybody that came before us. Rome, Greece, everybody. Go through history and take your pick.
This is why I will say Baal. I'm going to throw it. Baal is America's god of the Elohim. Is because since we've been a nation, we've been at war.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I mean,
we're always in somebody's business.
And Baal always needs blood sacrifice to stay alive.
Especially child sacrifice.
Yes. So think about of all the millions and billions of Americans that have died over the years. Just to keep this going.
Yeah.
And they want to reinstitute the draft. Think about that. Just think about whose is that? Trump.
Why would we want to do that?
Yeah. Why would we want to do that? Why?
Yeah. Everything to me right now, too, this is something we didn't really talk about. And I know we're kind of wrapping up near the end here, but it sure seems like to me that everybody is currently and has been for several months now kind of positioning themselves for a coming war.
Oh, yeah.
And we're no different.
No.
So it's almost like everybody knows what's coming and we're just going to position for it. And
so my problem is we send all these people, all these soldiers to go die for something useless. That's what it is. War is useless. We're not trying to get more land or anything. We're doing it for gods that are behind the scenes telling these politicians to do things.
Yeah.
And if the president wants to reinstitute the draft to kill more innocents, he's as evil as the gods are. I said it. He's evil.
No.
He's an evil dude.
You'll think that way when your son or daughter is the one that's getting shot.
Yeah.
And sacrificed on the altar of freedom.
Oh, yeah. and I used to.
Who's freedom?
I used to say this, but have you ever regretted saying something?
Oh, sure.
I used to say
only almost every day. I've had a lot of things here lately that I've been saying that I just was like, I should have just kept my mouth shut and let it go.
I used to say that the flag waves because of all the dying breaths of the soldiers. Can't say that anymore. The way I look at it is because they were innocent. Our government sent innocent people to go die because of an evil God that told them to do that. And so when you're working for an evil God, you're just as evil as they are.
Yeah, Satan and Baal is what you're talking about.
Yes. And it's sad that we allow it.
Yeah.
If we really want to stand up and fight saying, no, we don't want innocents to die. Like Tracy said when she was on, if you care about the unborn, you should care about the living too.
That's right.
So Christians, if you were so worried about the unborn, care about the ones that are going off to war. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It is wrong to go to war.
Yeah, to what end?
If you are a true Christian and Christ in your heart, no.
Yeah.
He said, turn the other cheek. And with that, love grows. I'm just kind of sounding hippy dippy, but it's true. You attack something with malice, all the work Christ has done in you gets taken away.
Yeah, there's a difference between defense and offense, right?
But if we're sending...
But we do a lot of offense.
Oh, it's more. We do more offense than defense would be. We'd have everybody here waiting to be attacked.
Yeah.
That's different than sending... running it all over the world, starting little
It's like, Christ tells him to go buy a sword, and that's for defense because he knows he's not going to be around much longer. But then he also tells him, Peter, when he chops the soldiers off in the garden,
you live by the sword, you die.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword, meaning if you're going to be an offensive type of person and this is how you're going to act, then you're going to die by it.
Yeah.
But self-defense is different.
Yeah. What's in World War I during, during the Christmas thing.
Oh yeah,
and they were that really happened.
Yeah, where they stopped and they sang
and they
spent Christmas together.
They said they had a meal and they shared cigarettes,
and then they went back to killing each other.
Yes,
isn't that insane?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
is that the Battle of Belleau Wood?
Yeah, Garth Brooks did.
Yeah, there's a good song. Yeah, he did a great song. About that.
I hate to say that, but I have to.
That's what it is. Good songs are good songs.
I'm sorry I was so preachy today.
How could you preach on our podcast?
This stuff really fires me up because it's wrong.
It's sad, is what it is.
And because everybody was saying God spare Trump. Okay, what did he spare him for to do to us?
Careful what you wish for.
Yes.
Careful what you say.
Yes.
What's the plan? What's in the plan? What are they gonna do?
Yes, that's why I always have my full hat on. It was like, I don't know, folks. I'm just watching and see how this roller coaster goes.
Me too. Very cautiously. Well, we're going to find out over the next few days, weeks, and months because it's just going to get foilier and crazier by the days.
Yeah.
So we will. We'll soon know how all this is going to play out. You know what, Ben? You know what I'm looking forward to the most? I'm looking forward to the plan of what we can be, unburdened by what we have been.
I wish I knew what that meant.
So does she. All right. Well, with that, we will bid you adieu until the next time on The Foil. Take care.
Bye.